Good evening and welcome. I'm going to wait just a couple of minutes here. I did sign on a couple of minutes early just to make sure everything was up and running. So I'll give it a couple of minutes for people to join us. Hello, Oklahoma. Is it warm or cold there? Had a high of 28 degrees and it almost feels like summer. Oh, you're so lucky. So lucky. We've been freezing over here in Michigan. Hi, Tracy. Okay. So actually, can everybody hear me okay? I wish it would warm up here. I mean, 28 is the warmest we've had in probably a good month. We saw a little bit of sun today too, so it almost felt like spring. Anyways, I am going to be working on a brand new paint by number from Wattobizz. It's okay, awesome. Thank you, Alyssa. Uh, so these are not available yet on the website. I think they're still in the testing process. And so I wanted to work on it a little bit tonight to show you guys. Um, the quality so far is just phenomenal. So I've got markers. I'm not quite sure how things are going to be sold, if it's going to be on the website, but I do have a package of 120, I believe it was 120, right around there, of the markers. I can kind of show you. I have them kind of just sitting in the box like this so I can see the ends of them. I'm trying to match them up to the color key. It's not as easy as it seems because the color on the paper is totally different than what the color of the paint and the color of the markers are going to be. Um, so what I did is, I don't know if you can see here, this one here, I did a little bit of paint. Let me see if I can hold it up. So I did a little bit of paint and then markers beside it. And I'm struggling to get the markers to line up. And there's so many different shades. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the markers for the big colors. So maybe like your reds, your blacks, your grays. And then for like the face where you have multiple colors, I'm going to use the paint. So it's going to be kind of a mix between paint and markers. The markers are going to be really nice for the bigger areas. I think they're just easier for me. I mean, paint is good too. So far, the quality of the paint has been amazing. I can just show you real quick. I can get in my own shadow here, but the paint is nice and creamy. I did do one little area of paint just to test it out on the face. So basically, it comes with your pattern, like your key. And on this here, you can take pictures and zoom in so you can see the nice little areas. And then you have your color and then your chart of your colors here. But the best part is how this turns out. The quality of this print on here is phenomenal. And I'll show you when I zoom in a little bit to start working on it. But the numbers are nice and clear, even in the really tiny areas. If if you struggle, you can take a picture of your phone, zoom it in a little bit more, but they are as clear as can be. You are going to have, hi Linda, hi Sherry. You are going to have those areas, the tiny, tiny little spots that you might have to kind of guess what goes in there. And sometimes I don't think you can be exact anyways because your paintbrushes only go so small, the tips of your markers only go so small. So you try as hard as you can, but they're so forgiving. They really are. I've done plenty of paint by numbers. to know that it's it's a guideline. Okay, it's art. You can tweak it how you need to. And if you're missing an area, just a tiny little area like what's right here that you can't even see, it's not going to make or break the image. So I am going to put the camera down, get in a little closer. Like I said, I am doing, for right now, I'm doing just black and white. I will show some paint um, tonight too. I'll do a couple areas, maybe even on the face. The face is lighter colors, and so you got like your creams and your tans. I have found it doesn't matter what paint by number you get. When you have those lighter colors, I'll show you because I did just a little strip on her nose right here. When you have those lighter colors, you have to go over them quite a few times. I can get, because you can see where the number is kind of coming through. And so you do have to go over them a few times. A little bit better lighting here for you guys. But I am not going to work on her face right now. Hi, Angela, Jody. So what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to start coloring in the black. I am going to struggle getting you guys in the camera. Let's see if I can move this forward. There we go. Okay. Let's do that. Try to, maybe we'll work on the skull. Now the paint or the markers I have noticed are very, very sensitive. So I have to kind of go careful. I'm gonna sneeze. Whew, hold on. Maybe a false alarm. I hate those. Ah, okay. Whew. Anyways, when I did just a little area here. They are very sensitive and they stay wet for a minute. So you have to plan, kind of map it out, plan your area so that you're not doing over here and then going over here. I am not a planner. I do tend to goof that up now and then. So I really have to stop and think about which direction I'm going to go next. So I'm going to try going right up here. If I can keep my hand out of your way. I might not be able to. And all I have is a snack tray. And so this one's on a frame. They will not come that way. Just shipping purposes is not going to be economical for Sandy. So I think they're going to be in a tube. So they will be rolled. They won't be folded, which is great. But this one here did come on a frame. And you can tell there's quite a bit of give here. I have it on my snack tray. And of course, with it being on the frame, it's not flat. So if this messes me up here. So these markers are very wet. And so when you use them, they're very liquidy. So you have to be very careful when you're doing your outlining. Which is going to be really nice for filling it in, but it is a little, you should go a little crooked when you're trying to just outline with it. Okay, I love the markers way better than the paint because I probably would have had to dip my brush in the paint 5 times just to get that little area done. There we go. We'll let that dry. I don't know if it's going to need a second coat or not. Where do we want to go next? I'm a little afraid to go over here because I'm not quite sure how much we're going to get done tonight. I can move her up a little bit here. Another section right here. So let's do this one. Like I said, I want to be very careful because I don't want to smudge it. I know myself, I probably will. My own shadow. I really wish that somehow they could invent these to where it's you have the markers. I don't know if you guys remember or not. Remember those the marker ones, and it was on the cardboard and it had like that black velvety material. So all the black was like that velvet, and then you had the corresponding markers to color it in. I don't remember that it was a color by number. I think it was just the markers and colored it what you wanted. I don't know if you guys remember that or not. Um, I wish that you could get the ones that were already like the markers instead of the paint. You had markers, and it was a kind of a color by number with the correct markers, but it was the acrylic marker, so you were doing the paint by number. The markers are separate. They're not. I mean, you can order them, but the markers are not corresponding to the paint by number, so you have to match up your colors. There's so many different shades of paint that it does make it a little difficult to match them completely. I am not a good enough artist to wing it. So if my markers are not matching my paint pretty darn exact, I struggle with the different shades. And so I do struggle trusting myself to do just all markers. And so I've been doing kind of some markers, some paint type things. So the markers that I can match up pretty darn close, I will use. But then when I'm like, if I'm doing a face or I'm doing an area that has a bunch of different shades, I'd probably just use the paints for that. No, no, they wouldn't come with the kits, but they would be an option, and then you can match your colors yourself. Okay, so you know what I'm talking about, Angela. Those, and I remember, gosh, I remember getting those, and I think there was like a parrot. I got a parrot one time, and oh, I did not know until the last few years. I didn't realize that they had all these paint by number. I thought paint by number was still just a kids thing. I didn't realize how detailed they get. I can see it drying as I'm talking. I think you guys can too. Yeah, just still over here is quite wet. This is pretty dry. Okay, so let's see here. What color is 34? Okay, so 34 is going to be white. So let's try the white marker real quick. I don't know how well the white marker will fill in, but we will see. We got 34 is going to be white. I just want to double check my key here. Yep, 34 is white. Okay, so let's try up here. I'm just out of range, so how's that? Whoop. All right. As nice as these markers are, I might take some more time and do color tests on every single color. These suckers are nice. Look at that. Even with the white. Hmm. I like these. Wow. That might be worth trying to figure out the different shades. I'm still a little worried about the face though. We'll see. Little chunk of 34 right here. I'm so used to like turning things every which direction when I do this. I'm all over the place. So trying to do it so it kind of stays on camera. But can you imagine painting Andy's designs like this? Oh my gosh. And it is very, very relaxing. Oh, let's go for the big one. I had quite a late night at work. I didn't get home until, oh, I don't know, 6:30, I think. Plus, I was on the road all day because it was our senior for seniors, so that's when I have to go visit um, our elderly people that are fostering some of our cats for us. So we drive quite a ways on once a month on Mondays, and then also again on Wednesdays. Get all the houses done. I think the white might need a couple of coats. We'll see how it dries there. Well, yeah, Sherry, that's what we got here. So we have the markers, but then this is the, I don't want to put it on there, but this is the painted pots. And the paint in them is very creamy. So I mean, they're really really nice. And look at this. Look at these um, paintbrushes. It came with two of these, so a smaller one and a bigger one. Put that right for a second so you can see them. And then it came with your regular. These are just your standard blue paintbrushes that you get in your kits. Um, I love the markers. Yeah, they came with it. I'm hoping that they come with the kits moving forward. These two brushes are really nice. Um, but again, the markers are just they're really really nice. I want to try. I am going to try to match up the colors. So I'm gonna have to do my own. Oh, there's a random screw there. Came out of it. I'm gonna have to do like every color in paint and then try to match up my markers. But then I'm also gonna have to write down obviously the number of markers to what number of paint. It's like this one here's got 50 colors in it. So she's a 50 color. So that's quite a bit to try to match up exact. Um, but what's nice is you have your markers and then you also have your paints. So if you can't get it to match up perfectly, you can always switch back and forth. All right. Well, I think I'm gonna go for it and let's just do this. I got my black here. Nice. On light. And I like it on the frame, but I am used to laying my project flat on my table. So there's a lot of give on this, which is really kind of throws you off a little bit when you're outlining. So I think having them in the tube like that and having them where you can lay them flat is probably the best. Coloring like this is appeasing that little child that still lives within inside me. But I also, what I like about the paint by numbers is I don't have to try to figure out what color goes where. Like I said, I'm not good with that type of stuff. I like you to tell me so that it looks correct. You can iron the canvases, yes, but this is on a frame, Sherry. This one, the tester, this one came on a frame. So moving forward, they're going to come rolled in a tube. So they're going to be flat. They're not folded. So there's not going to be any creases. But what I like about that is that yeah, I can lay it flat where there's the only way I can get this to be sturdy is by finding something to put underneath it because there's that it's a what good half inch or so from the frame to the canvas. So it does create that. But what's nice is when you're done, you hang it and it's already on a frame. So there's pros and cons with both. Hi, Sandy. Okay, so I am going to do another layer here on the white, a little bit, just to try to fill in. You see how that number was popping through there. I'm not gonna do all of it perfect, but just enough to kind of cover that. Yeah, let me, let's see, what color? Number 5, let's go with this really nice dark purple. So we will work on number 5, amazing paintbrushes. Wish they had like a full set of these. Look at that. Like, they're nice quality. Okay, so here is, we're gonna do this nice purple. We will go, ah, hard to get the lighting just right for you guys. Um, I don't want to touch the wet areas. All right, so of course I do the smallest spot I can find, right? Okay, that one, other one right here. It's great coverage. It really is. You can see how many times I have to dip my brush compared to the marker. But I have been curious on how these two are going to line up with the paint and the marker, and it looks amazing. Really can't, it blends very well, these two, because this, again, this was marker and that is actual paint. So doing both is going to be, it's going to be nice. Like I said, for those colors that, one, I can't match up, and then two, when you get into the face, you know, I'm going to want to do, I'm going to want to do my paint for that. Area. Yeah, it's, the paint is smooth as can be. I know you can get them sometimes where they're dried out, but I think what helps with Wattobizz, with the paint by numbers with this is each one is not mass produced. Okay, so when you're ordering them from Temu, Amazon, they are mass produced. So they are printed, they are potted, and they sit in storage. And so sometimes when you get the paint pots, they are dried out, they're thick, they're clumpy, where these are specially made individually per order because they are not mass produced. They are you know, they're custom. So I think the paints are going to be phenomenal every time, only because it's new image. So I think that is a bonus. Well, I know it's a bonus. It's a huge bonus. All right, let's do one more little area. I can see. It is one thing that my eyes, the later it gets at night, the more tired they are. And like I said, with driving all day today too, I'm pretty tired. that is looking really, really nice. So, what do you think? Let's do three. Let me rinse this real quick. Bear with me. I got my water way up here. I don't have a. I was gonna get my because I've got a oh an art table, but when I work on that, it's so hard to have the camera with it. It's really tall. Yes, my eyes are getting foggy and blurry. And look at how clean that rinses off, and that's just in water. Okay, let's do this. Look at that. Look at that gorgeous color there. And again, look at how creamy that is. Ah, my eyes are okay. Here, blink. Ooh, that is a beautiful color. This is exciting, you guys. Coverage is really good. I have to go over that one a little bit, just right there where the numbers popping out. I love the numbers, but they can also be a thorn in the side. I want the numbers there so I know what I'm doing, but sometimes they're buggers to cover up. Now, I have heard that you can use whiteout to cover the number and then paint it, which is an amazing idea. But I am so afraid that I will forget what freaking number I was working on while I'm waiting on that to dry. So I have not done that yet. Um, just go back over it. And sometimes it adds a little bit of depth, I think, just a little, oh goodness, what's the word I'm looking for? Texture, because you got just one little area that'll be just a little bit thicker, and it adds a little bit of dimension to the painting. So I apologize that my lighting is so bad, but it's not easy to get good lighting on these, especially when it's dark out. So funny that we busted into other colors because I was planning on just doing the black tonight. But now I'm just doing this. One thing that's nice about this is you can just do whatever you want. No rules. Please don't judge me if I go outside of the lines. 5 seconds, and then I'm gonna touch the threes again. Um, I'm not sure what the price is gonna be. That would be Andy, if you get an idea. Okay, I'm gonna go back to the white real quick and fill in that number real quick, and then I think we're going to do whatever number 17 is. Fine. What their number, okay? So all the paints are labeled on the top with their number. 17 is brown. Oh, that's boring. That's boring. Hoping for a nice, bright, pretty. I do know that when I'm doing this, I have to really pay attention to the time because I thought time went by quick when I'm cross stitching or diamond painting. It goes way faster when you I've already been doing this for 32 minutes. Okay, well, the color is 49. Ooh, 49 is a pretty color. Let's see that. I should just. Okay, I'm gonna keep this jar of water between my legs. If you hear me holler, just know that I spilled it. Nope, can't trust myself. Never mind. It's going back. I know I will spill it everywhere. Okay, this is another purple. So again, this shade is just slightly different than the other one. That's where, matching them up sometimes can be difficult. We have the two together right there. Really can't. I guess you can kind of see it. Um, I don't know what the canvas is made out of. It's kind of a honeycomb shape. Um, it feels pretty similar to other paint by number ones. I think it's smoother. You know how paint by number has, I don't know if you guys are familiar or not, but it has a lot of like divots, and so they do recommend some of them that you paint over them with that gesso. Um, but this is nice and smooth. I'm not having an issue at all with the paint. It's just nice and smooth. 49. Right? 49. Yeah. Right here. Sometimes when you go to paint on the cheaper ones, they're so bumpy that it really does not go smooth at all. Oh, thank you. And then we'll probably do the top secret word here as soon as I finish this. We're already at 35 minutes. my brush. So let's try hard not to waste paint, so I don't want to wash off too much because I need it. And I still have quite a bit on my brush because I had to go back and get more. See, this is how you end up doing this for hours and hours. This happens that way. Look at that. I'm Picasso. Don't look at that. That's out of the line. Don't tell anybody. That's another thing that's really nice about paint by numbers. When you go with the next color, you can usually fix your mistake. Should have got I've got some brushes that are very fine tipped that make doing these smaller areas better. Okay, got it. Cool. Hours later. One little other area that I can use up just a little bit more. Let's go for it. One more try. Okay, brush. Try to work on it some more this week and maybe give you guys another update next week. Does that sound good? And also, these brushes come with these nice little plastic tubes that you can put them in with lids and caps to protect them. Nice. I think my whites just a little bit more. Okay, so I will show off progress. I wonder what color 37. 37 is right here in the eyebrows. Alright, 37. Oh, I got more here. Oh, 37 is a drab brown again. Man, nothing fun. Okay. Alright, so let me. Oh, there's another screw that fell out of my. Cause it comes with little hangers in there and a couple of screws for hanging it. And they fell out of my brushes. Put this in there. Keep my markers out. Okay. And there she is. We'll let it dry. It's gonna be so pretty. Yes, I can zoom out. Let me get my paint off from there again. Here. Okay, let me do the uh, secret word one real quick. So if you go to the group, find it under the featured tab. Oops, so tired. Okay, featured tab. We are looking for. Turn this off a second here. We are looking for this one. Oh, I forgot. Here, I have it upside down now. So which is right side up for you guys. Okay, so under this one, so this is the one I did, supersize max color, go big or go home. Raven, 450 stitches by 450 stitches, 217 colors. And look at that beauty. So the top secret word is going to be Edgar. Kind of gives me the Edgar Allan Poe vibe. Edgar will be our top secret word, so make sure to comment under this post, and I will get those sent out to you sometime towards the end of the week. All right, light on, and let's see if I can't get this zoomed out. I have to manually do it, so bear with me here. Okay. So there is. Straight. So funny to get her straight. She's actually crooked for me. And you can see the one little strip of her nose that I did do in the paint so far. But that is her. Absolutely stunning. So I will work on it a little bit more. I can't promise like what area I'm gonna do with the paint by number. I kind of go just where the mood takes me. Um, I am not sure how many colors of the markers I'm gonna do. I will kind of work on that because I've already started with these colors in the paint, so I kind of want to keep that the same. So it's stunning, you guys. It really is. Um, I don't know, Sherry. Sandy's gonna have all that information. I can't wait. I can't wait to get different images in this. So I do love to paint, and I love paint by number. And Sandy, these markers are amazing. It's just matching them up, and I wish I was better at that. I really do. It's just all the different shades is where I struggle. And and really, in all honesty, I'm not even sure that it matters as long as you're keeping each color the same and you're getting as close as you can because you're not gonna know. I mean, it's your painting. Um, I think that's just a struggle that I have that I'm like, oh gosh, it's not exact to the paint, so I can't use it. I think that's just me. Some people can. It's just like with coloring. I lack that. Uh, I lack the layers, the colors. I'm not an artist in that aspect. So, but all right, guys, I'm gonna sign off. I'm gonna get to bed. Um, been a long day on the road all day, and then I had that 2-hour meeting tonight on top of this. So I'm gonna go crash out. So I will see you guys in the group. See you guys next Monday, 9 o'clock, with an update. All right. Good night, guys. Thank you.